Hey guys, I got a really great episode for you today. This is my brother and my nephew. We're going to take a tour of their collection. I cannot believe that we're going to do this and you're not dressed in character.
Character?
I've got this.
Hey! Give me that! What the heck do you think you are, a professional magician?
Well, I thought I was.
Well, you're not.
Well, I've got this.
What did you do to my wand?
This is a wand of a great sorcerer.
And this is the wand of a great sorcerer.
I'll tell you what, let's go wandering into our collection.
Let's go.
By a decision that you must make. Take the chance, or you shall regret it for all of your days. The crystal goes dark. Long live Zoltan.
magic seems to be a big focus of yours.
Big, yeah.
So when do you think you started collecting magic?
Well, it probably started when I was really young, because when I was little, back in the 60s, we used to watch the Ed Sullivan variety show, the folks and I, and they would have a variety of acts on the show. So you'd have ventriloquists to impressionists to singers, jugglers, and magicians. And the magic really intrigued me. So I would say probably right around 69, 1970, I really started focusing in on, the interest of magic. And so like most magicians or most people that perform or collect, the first thing that you usually get is a magic set. And so that's where it all really started.
So where my focus has been on toys from the get-go. Mm-hmm. You started out on magic. How many pieces of magic do you think you have in your collection?
Probably over 3,000 pieces.
You were or still are part of the Magic Society of...
Mm-hmm. The SAM and the Portland Society of Magicians. The SAM is Society of American Magicians. And at one point, until recently, I was the historian for both clubs.
Okay, so are you an active magician?
No.
You don't actively do magic?
No, I used to, but now I'm pretty much just a collector.
Here now with my nephew Jeremy, born in 1988, correct?
That's right.
All right, so that makes us 14. I'm 14 years older than you are.
Yeah.
Okay, so our generations kind of cross a little bit in you grew up with toys. You're much a toy collector.
Yeah, I might be the last generation to really get the best of the toy playing childhood. Before all the video games. Video games were around, but they weren't really a big thing. We still got the best of the best toys.
So you kind of grew up in that era when cartoons, it was the Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Right.
Those were big and popular in your generation.
Yeah, they kind of informed the toy lines and vice versa. The toy lines informed the cartoons. So whatever cartoon I was watching early Saturday morning, I had a toy to go with it. Or whatever toy I thought was cool, usually there was a cartoon to accompany it. It was pretty awesome.
Look, Batman, the red phone. But are they all too late? Will Penguin and Lola succeed in pulling off the foulest race-fixing scheme of all time? For more, tune in the next episode.
see monsters upstairs. You're a big fan of monsters.
Yeah.
Universal monsters,
Yes.
you'd probably say.
Yeah, more so that, the classic monsters.
Right, correct.
Probably the reason I like it so much is because it scared the crap out of me when I was a kid.
I couldn't tell you how many times he's actually scared the crap out of me with movies that I was probably too little to watch.
Yeah.
Fright Night, one of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but then as we get older and we realize that it's not real and whatnot, I think you grow an appreciation for it, especially the older stuff. That a lot of those classic monster movies, they call them horror movies, but they really did leave a lot for your imagination to try to figure out what was going on. You might see a hallway with a shadow, and you never saw any graphic things happen, but you would use your own imagination to determine exactly probably what happened to that victim.
Favorite actor in the horror monster?
Peter Cushing, probably.
Peter Cushing? Yeah.
Part of that might be because he reminds me of my grandfather.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
And you and I share common collecting favorites as Indiana Jones. Both very important to both of us.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's the ultimate adventurer, right? And when you're a kid and you're thinking about what's the coolest guy on the face of the earth, of course it's going to be a guy who shoots bad guys, has a bullwhip, and goes on adventures and finds archaeological relics. He's just the coolest of the cool guys, somebody to aspire to. So yeah, Indiana Jones was a big part of my childhood. Same with Star Wars. I mean, and I got all that from hanging out with you guys. You really got me into the love of Star Wars.
Right. Because you kind of grew up. It was prequels. But it was post the originals.
Yeah, I got the sweet spot where we just still had, when I was little, we just still had those first 3 movies, and
arguably called the dark times because there wasn't a lot going on in the Star Wars world, toy-wise or merchandise-wise, in that time frame.
Right, those 90s Power Force figures, they were too muscly, they were just weird looking. So even as a little kid, I always thought the vintage figures were way better looking figures than the 90s figures. But, you know, I was a kid, I was too poor to own those figures, so as I got older, I thought, I'm going to get those original figures one day, and started collecting them.
Yeah. Great. We went to Celebration.
Yes, we did.
You got to meet somebody that was extremely important to you.
Okay, so Ewan McGregor is arguably one of the best actors on the face of the planet. He is one of my favorite actors, and I did get to meet him that day. I told him I loved him in his movies, and you know, we had kind of a conveyor belt of people going, so we didn't get to chat for too long, but I did get to meet one of my heroes, which was incredible. You're starstruck. You're dumbfounded when they're in front of you. That'd be like you meeting Harrison Ford, you know. It was awesome. And I don't think there's going to be much else in my life that's going to top that experience.
So that was your first Celebration?
What
did you think of
that? What else can top it? I mean, it's like going to Disneyland, but it's a one-off. You're going to experience things there you're never going to experience anywhere else. So if you have the means, save up, go.
Now, obviously, circus is a big part of your collecting as well, as we can see through the tour. What got you into circus collecting?
I don't know.
Is there a tie to the magic, or is it?
Just an interest, I think. And I think that's more recent than... That's probably been in the last 10 years. I've always kind of enjoyed that. I really like the history of the magic. I like the history of circus. And if you really think about the circus and you think about entertainment in general, if you go back 100 years when there was no TV, there was no radio, then you got to be thinking about what did these small little towns that had a railroad that went through them, what did they do for entertainment? Now, if they were lucky enough to have a theater in the town, whether it be a live theater or eventually a movie theater, that was great. But if they didn't, most of their entertainment was reading books, or possibly once a year through the railroad system, the circus would come to town by train. And so all these people that had read books about, elaborate animals and all kinds of entertaining from, clowns to the high rise, this was their one night, and probably the family's one night that they would all get together, and probably the whole town would get together because, it only come through the town one day out of the year. And that would be basically like their Christmas for entertainment.
Hey, thanks for joining us. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and Instagram. Put some comments below. Don't forget to pound that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.
So, who's your favorite Dracula?
1, 2, 3.
Really?
The count from Sesame Street.
Mine's Count Duckula.
Count Duckula.
Count Duckula. This guy right here is a poser.
Yeah, he never showed his fangs, not one time.
Never showed his fangs?
No, not one time. Bela Lugosi never showed his fangs.
And why is that?
I don't know. They just never showed his fangs.
He didn't like wearing teeth? Or
I don't know.
Or maybe he had a toothache at it.
I am
Maybe.
Dracula.
made some dental work done.
I
Yeah.
never saw the Tooth Fairy, that's for sure.
For sure.